Good morning, everyone. It is Movie and a Haunt. I'm trying to bring some energy to us in this 10 a.m. on a fucking Saturday, bitch.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movie and a Haunt. I'm RJ.
And I'm Paige.
And as you can see, I have way more energy in this intro because I needed to do something to get through this movie. We're doing 2006's When a Stranger Calls.
Yes. Classic, terrible horror movie. Ooh, is that too mean?
I mean, you said classic, which is being too nice.
Oh, boy.
Like, you might as well just call this movie Static Hallway Shot. That's it.
That's the new title.
Might as well.
Yeah, I like it.
You know what's even worse? We decided to watch this at 8 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday.
Yep. We thought that was a great idea. Real quick, the trailer, if you ever want to know what this movie is about, watch the trailer. It's literally the entire movie. You're welcome.
Watch the trailer, then go to the Wikipedia page, read the final 2 sentences. You got the entire movie.
Yep. We wasted an hour and a half, baby.
You know what's the best part is we played a game while watching the movie that was like, guess how much longer we have?
There's a point in the movie where the cops are like, it's going to take 20 minutes for dispatch to get to you. And I'm like, okay, cool. That means we have 20 minutes left? Yep, sounds about right.
The worst part was like the call happens and you're like, fuck, now it's only 20 minutes? I thought it was 20 minutes like 10 minutes ago. It was just like we got to the final 40 and you were like, wow, you know what? This isn't bad. It's going quick. And then it hit 30 and you're like, okay, it's only 30. It's only 20.
I don't know, man. I have one fun fact, if it's even a fun fact for this movie. It's not even this movie. It's like basically for the original back in 1979, I believe. It's an old wives' tale, of course. Like, there's a guy in the attic type of thing, blah, blah, blah. But this one is very loosely based, When a Stranger Calls, very loosely based on a true crime that happened in the 1950s in Michigan. It was like a 13-year-old girl who was a babysitter who was, like, brutally, murdered, massacred type of thing. And her murder has been unsolved since it happened. So I guess they loosely based off these movies based off that. But that's it. That's all I got.
That fact was so fun.
Hey, it's better than this movie, bitch.
That fact was hot.
Thanks.
It was hot. Okay, trailer. The best way I could put the trailer on my end was we both realized we had to watch the trailer after the movie still. And there was that instant dread that we still had to watch at least 2 more minutes of this.
I saw this in theaters when it came out.
Why?
Because that's what you do as a little preteen type of thing.
Was this PG-13?
I think so.
Okay, that's probably a reason.
You go out Friday night. Oh, there's a new scary movie out. I remember it not being good back then, and it is still not good now.
I mean, a scarier movie would just be, okay, so one of you go outside and bang on the window at random times, and that's scarier than this shit.
Oh, 100%.
This is the only time I've ever seen you go from, wow, these shots are so nice, to, I get it, the shots are nice, I don't care.
Yeah. There was like 2 really good shots kind of in the beginning, and then other than that, I was just like, nah. But let's just get into it. Let's get this over with.
We're ending season of the home invasions on a
seems to be a
great
trend
note.
for us.
Great note.
All right, let's.
Hey! Season 5 wasn't awful.
I know. I'm playing, but yeah, let's just do this.
So, fun fact, this first sentence doesn't even get into the weird part of the movie.
Wait, there's one weird part in the movie?
movie. You go dance one weird part of the movie, and then I guess someone on top of me is moving a chair. So I'm just.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Inside the house. It's coming from inside the condo.
All right, we'll go ahead.
It doesn't get into the fact that there's like this city street, and for some reason behind this house is a carnival.
Oh yeah, we were commenting on that. Yeah, that's weird.
That makes no sense, and it's just like, and you're like, oh, that's a great horror scream, and I'm like, it's a stock scream. Like
It was good.
A local sheriff enters a home where multiple homicides have been committed. The victims are 3 children and their babysitter, all slaughtered brutally by an intruder using his bare hands.
So, question.
Possible answer.
Using his bare hands and slaughtered. So, does he, rip them apart?
So, okay, here's the thing. At the end of the movie, he's just like, I'm gonna choke you. Yeah. And then you get back to the beginning of the movie, and there's, blood on trash bags.
Right, it was really bloody.
Yeah.
And the cop was like, what's the murder weapon? And the other cop's like, there was not one. And it's just like, okay.
I feel like Screen Gems was just like, listen, we need to do all of, the de facto sentences that will make people go, oh! And in reality, it's just like, dude, this is such stereotypical bullshit.
Also, you have to remember, this is a remake from 1979, and the 1979 one was not well received, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, but still, the 2005 or 6 remake of Black Christmas is 10 times better than this shit. Mm. At least, here's the thing. Is it good? No, but it's at least fun.
Right.
This movie, here's the problem with this movie. You ready? This movie depends on an actress and the main character of the movie, the phone.
Yeah.
It's not good when the person who's the main actress can't act very well.
I don't know if that's the issue, if she can or cannot act. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember a lot of her acting abilities in the movies I've seen with her. So maybe that tells you right there. But you're right. It is really difficult when you're an actor and you're acting to yourself with a phone, and I highly doubt anyone was on that other line.
Especially because, here's the thing. This movie's a Scream ripoff. If you actually listen to the phone calls, it's a full-on Scream ripoff. If you put Neve Campbell, Drew Barrymore, Sarah Michelle Gellar, I don't give a shit, they can all work with a phone very well. It's just they didn't cast people who were who could do this. This was out of her wheelhouse. In reality, it was the people who can do this probably cost too much money, so they needed someone that was just, barely passable in the role.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think of that. That is a really good point. All right.
Also, Tessa Thompson's in this.
Yeah, Tessa Thompson's in this. And what's her name? Kate Cassidy, whatever the hell. Black Canary from Arrow, which was weird.
She's Tiffany, right?
Yeah, she's Tiffany.
Okay.
Yeah.
This movie has 2 deaths, by the way. 2 on-screen deaths that we see.
Correct.
That's it. That's all this movie
But we don't
has.
even see them dying. We just see them dead.
Probably because they have to keep it PG-13.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
In Colorado, 125 miles away from the crime scene, 16-year-old Jill Johnson, God's her name, is on her way to babysit for the wealthy Mandrakis. Is it Mandrakis? Mandrakis family, as punishment for exceeding her cell phone minutes. Nothing has been so dated in a season ever of this show than the main, inciting incident is she went over her cell phone minutes.
All right, so for the younger crowd, if there is a younger crowd,
there isn't. Our main demographics, I actually know this, our main demographics is 28 to 34.
Oh, well, okay. Then the people who are usually listening know this, but I'm just going to explain it anyways. Back in the day, cell phone calls and text messages were by the minute, so that you had to pay for. So she went over 800 minutes, which was a lot back then. Plus overdraft fees, maxing out your minutes and stuff like that. Her dad's like, oh, you cost us a pretty penny. And I'm like, yeah, she probably did. So her dad's like, oh, you're grounded for a month. No car, no cell phone. It's like, oh, Dad. So, yeah, that's how it used to be.
At bare minimum, just for the minutes, it was $120 on average for 800 minutes.
That's a lot of money.
That's not including overdraft though. That's just the bare minimum of what this was going to cost.
Exactly.
Also, I just want to say, for a lot of the people in this movie was the low point of their career.
Yes, Tessa.
They all go up from
Tessa
here.
Thompson. Her dad is what's his name from Marvel?
Agent Coulson.
That too. Yeah, I don't know. There's Katie Cassidy, stuff like that.
Oh, and then there's our favorite character, Bobby.
Bobby.
Where's Bobby? I like how everyone's just like, no one's like, hey, where's Bobby? It's like, where's Bobby? It's so. It's how we say Bobby. Like we say it ironically. They were saying it in this movie unironically.
Because I think everyone here was like from California. So they have like that California accent. Where's Bobby? You know?
So it's the hills.
Exactly.
This movie's just the hills.
The Californians in Colorado.
Bobby! Bobby, are you playing a prank on me, Bobby? Bobby, come save me. I'm happy Tessa Thompson lived, even if she was in the movie for like 3 minutes.
True.
Oh. When she arrives, Mrs. Mandrakis shows her around and tells her about their live-in housemaid, Rosa. This house is such fucking bullshit.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
I hate this house. We zoomed in on the house and I was like, fuck this place.
It's on a lake. Every wall is a window. They have magic lights. So, like, you walk into a room, it turns on. If you walk out of the room, it turns off.
They have a statue with penis fingers.
Yeah. What else do they got?
I have to say, the first time that statue showed up on screen, I did jump. You do.
It's true, he did.
It was just a silhouette. And I was like, gross. That's not right.
What else is weird about this house? Oh, everything's supposed to be quote unquote high tech. It has like an automatic fireplace that seems very dangerous. The TV's behind a wall, and like the wall opens and closes for the TV.
Have you ever seen that in your life? Like in like reality?
I mean, I'm not rich enough to be privy to that.
True, but we live in an area where there are rich enough people that by luck you may see it once.
Maybe, but no.
I never did. I just needed to know if you did.
No. But yeah, it's a weird house.
This house doesn't make. This house has. Towards the end of the movie, so basically we spend all this movie what I feel like is in one hallway. That's it. Like this movie for some reason takes place in like a single hallway, and I guess it's just because they have the wood panels, so it looks pretty. We get towards the end of the movie, and I literally say out loud, "There's a second floor," because I totally blanked that this house has like multi floors because she's so grounded.
So, there's also a guest house where the son from the husband's first marriage lives, but he's off at college. What else is there? Oh, the little aviary with the koi fish. That was cute.
I love that place.
Yeah, that
love that place.
was nice. I mean, would I have that
By
in
the
my
way,
own home? No.
What did the refrigerator say in
Slapped. In the kids' house off on the other side of the lake, big letters just says slap. Why? I don't know.
They go into the house and I'm like, this is what my room looked like maybe when I was like 12.
And I'm
they have like the fucking little dangly shit at the doorway, so it's like
yeah. Oh god, I had that too. So
the best part of this entire movie was I had that outfit, I had that bag, I had that hair.
I did. It was like a flashback. It was terrible. So
how damaged is your hair from that shit?
I
Jesus.
mean, so you know how you said there's like two actors. There's the actress, the phone. I'm gonna put the house as a character in this film. Is that fair?
If you're gonna do that, then I'm gonna put a fourth actor, which is Professor Penis Fingers.
Oh, what about Chester the cat?
Chester the cat had better character acting than the main character. Did you hear the pitter patter on that floor? He moved with a purpose.
Those eyes too, striking.
Oh, his eyes! There was one shot. His eyes scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oof!" His pupils are dilated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. A long time after the parents leave. I was right, bitch. I was fucking right. I sat there watching that entire movie, and they got. Oh, by the way, first things first. It strikes to nighttime, and we get like this like intro to a Creed music video, like early 2000s, some kind of like soul/rock. It's just her at a window, forearm on it, looking into the distance, because this house is for some reason on a lake.
Rich people.
And Paige is like, "Oh, it's probably like 30 minutes," and I'm like, "It wasn't 30 minutes. It can't be 30 minutes." So a long time. So answer my question then. What the fuck was she doing in that house?
True. I mean, it looked like she had homework and stuff, like on the coffee table and stuff. But also, let's just mention this real quick. The mom said that the kids are getting over a cold, so she just
The flu.
Whatever. She just got them.
It's worse.
Whatever. She got them to bed just then. Don't wake them up because they're a nightmare to get back to sleep. All right. We don't see these children awake about 15 minutes until the movie's about to end.
I mean, here's the thing. Yes, that is true. But when they're awake, the only thing I was wishing was that they went back to sleep.
100%. All they were like, it's terrible.
Oh my God, give him a tissue, please.
Tell him to shut up.
You're like in the greenhouse. You can give him a leaf. He can blow his nose on a leaf. A long time after the parents leave, Jill begins to receive obscene phone calls from someone. Bitch, those aren't obscene phone calls. It's just a guy going into a fucking.
Yeah,
no.
It was not obscene. It was annoying.
Who, most of the time, does not say anything and then hangs up. So obscene.
So, that's the plot of the movie. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
No, that's false. Because there's one other part of this movie, which is she walks in a single hallway.
Oh, how could I forget?
It's like, look into the koi fish pond, walk in this one hallway. It's like, what hallway is it? It's like the hallway between the kitchen and the bathroom. That's kind of it. This is also where we get the shot where she looks upstairs and all you see is the silhouette of the statue. And I'm like, ugh. I don't want that statue in my house. That statue's a nightmare. Oh. She initially believes it's her friends playing a prank, but when she contacts them, they deny it. She doesn't contact them, they contact her.
Well, Bubba's friend Cody prank calls her once. At some point, Bobby calls. She's like, hey, do you guys keep calling me? Bobby's like, no, there's like no cell service. How many times did someone say there's no fucking cell service at that bonfire? I get it. And he's like, no.
Listen, they said it enough for the twist to be it was one of them.
And he's like, no, Cody called you once, but I told him to stop. And so we're like, oh, it's none of her friends. Whoa. Who could
Sure.
it be?
Sure. They were at Burning Man. They were at Colorado Burning Man.
Yeah.
She initially believes it is her friends. They deny it while the Mandrakis' two children are asleep. Jill is visited by her friend Tiffany.
Wow, we skipped a lot.
Did we? I just thought we missed. I just thought we skipped a lot of just
nothing
walking in a hallway.
That's what I mean. I'm joking, bro.
I seriously thought you were being serious because I was like, you know what? I could have forgotten because all I think of this movie is she walks in a hallway, she sits on a couch, she looks out a window, she sits on a couch,
she opens
puts on
a
fake
book.
Jewelry, she opens a book while sitting on a couch.
Oh god.
She picks up the phone, she says a sentence, she hangs it up, she checks the alarm, she moves the piece of paper.
Stop describing the whole movie. We have to talk about it.
She puts the phone on her ass seam pocket.
Oh my god. Okay.
Rinse and repeat. And then eventually we get like a cameo of the cat at some points.
Okay, so Tiffany shows up, which is Katie Cassidy. And the story is that she kissed Bobby, which is why she's angry at Tiffany and Bobby, our main character, Jill. And Tiffany is great. I love Tiffany. She's like, yeah, Jill, I'm a bitch. You know that. Everyone knows that. That's who I am. Deal with it. And I'm like, you know what? Self-awareness. I can respect that.
The best part of all of that was we were watching the movie, and she was like, listen, it's what I do. And you were like, so eventually you came to my side. The first thing I was like in my head, I'm like, you know what? She's saying it out loud. Do I think she's shitty? Yes. But she owns it. And like, I will at least respect a person who owns that they're a shitty person. And you're like, that's so shitty. And then she goes, I'm a bitch. And you're like, oh, okay. She's admitting it. We're good.
She's aware. It's great. It's fine. Okay.
I like how our bare minimum bar is if you could at least admit you're shitty, you at least get like the bare minimum respect of like, you know, you're self-aware. So I can respect that.
Absolutely. And she's like, oh, you know, when I get a little tequila in me, you know how I get, which is her reasoning for kissing Bobby. She's like, oh, I had Bobby before you, and then he saw you, and I never got my
for
kiss.
A week.
Yeah. And I'm like, girl.
And I thought I had it coming, and I had it coming to me.
Yeah. So, long story short, Tiffany's a terrible best friend. And that's it. And then she's like, oh, do these people have, like, a good liquor cabinet? To be fair, whenever I babysat, same situation. I was Tiffany. But
you babysat?
Yeah. Don't be shocked.
I actually kind of am. I've never met a person who's babysat in their entire life.
Wow, that's weird. Yeah. And then she goes to drink the tequila. She puts it over on the coffee table, and then Jill's like, no, you gotta go. And she kicks Tiffany out. And that's it. Do we get to Tiffany's kill scene?
If you're getting in further trouble, Jill asked her to leave.
Okay.
Oh, we forgot. Right before this happens, we get 5 minutes of her in a hallway again.
How could I
forget? And then
forget?
eventually ends up in the kitchen. And while she's in the kitchen, she gets a popsicle.
Yeah, she gets a popsicle.
That she licks 2 times.
Because you know what scares her? The ice maker. Like, come the fuck on, girl.
While returning to her car, Tiffany's ambushed by an unseen intruder.
Was this the most exciting part of the movie up until now?
I don't know. I mean, I was more stimulated by the statue and the cat's pupils when she looks back into the fucking kitchen.
Oh, God. Well, Tiffany dies. We don't see it on screen. And that's about it.
Tiffany gets that shitty fucking scene, like death by camera is what I call it.
Yeah, it's kind of...
It's like when it's like, snap, 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 snap. And it's just because, you know, they can't show a person attacking. So, like, we're going to do POV, but we're not going to do handy cam. We're going to do, like, these, like, weird quick up snap, like, fast speed, like, snapshots.
I always call it the Cheapo Depot Evil Dead.
Oh, that's all 13 Ghosts is, just to let you know.
Yeah,
like those shots.
I know that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Tiffany dies, which sucks. Bye, bitch.
Does it? Does it really? I don't know. Listen, she had like 7 chances to get out of that place fucking alive.
Fair.
Didn't have her keys ready. Dropped her keys. Didn't drive over a fucking
Little
small
tiny
ass
twig.
branch. Wore ugly ass clothing.
Hey, it's 2006.
Ultimate sin.
Everyone did.
Okay, but like still a sin.
What's next?
Jill receives a phone call. Oh wait, no. Before she does the phone call, doesn't she like try to call like 50 fucking people first?
Yeah, okay, so this is probably only one of the only smarter things that she did. Oh, by the way, there's an alarm system in this house. The first time the alarm system goes off, the alarm company calls her and sees if she's okay. They verify her identity with Mrs. Madrakis. And then Mrs. Madrakis calls. Are you okay? Great. Okay, we got a system of security going on. The alarm system calls. The parents call. Great. So you think she's safe. Every other time the alarm system goes off, no phone calls. No nothing. So Jilly Jill, our friend, she calls her dad. She calls Mrs. Madrakis. She calls the restaurant that they were at, which they left already. And then she calls the operator to get her to a non-emergency police line. I think she's covering her bases pretty well. What do you think?
She's doing fine.
Yeah.
She's doing okay.
Yeah.
Isn't this the scene where, like, we get a shot of... By the way, to make this movie more interesting, they do scenic shots of outside the house every few seconds. Like, they do, like, a little bit of montage. It's like a montage.
And it's like a 5-minute sequence every single time.
Isn't this the one where it looks like someone drove a boat in the lake to make, like, a little wave?
Yeah, I think so.
Jill receives a phone call from the person indicating he can see her. Alarmed, she calls the police, who tell her they can trace the calls if she's able to keep him on the line for at least 60 seconds. While waiting for the phone to ring, Jill sees a shadow moving in the guest house. This is where the movie is like, our concept of time makes no fucking sense.
100%.
You were like, that wasn't... It was like her clock says like the timer on her watch is like 100 seconds. You're like, that was not 100 seconds.
The only way that it was 100 seconds is that was the second call. The first call was like 50 seconds. The second call was like 20 or so. And I'm like, well, what, or something. It's like, okay, whatever. But anyways, yeah. So did we get to the part where she goes to the guest house?
About to.
Okay, go ahead.
Believing it was the Mandrakis' son back from college, she goes to investigate but finds the guest house empty. Okay, let's just stop there. So I looked away for a second, just a quick second, and I come back, and all I hear is you go, God, I can't take her seriously running in the woods with a candlestick. And I'm like, what the fuck does she mean running with a candlestick? And I look up, and it's a flashlight and a whole ass candlestick. And I'm like, this is crazy white lady.
Oh, 100%. What I don't understand is, why didn't she was in the kitchen? Grab a knife. You had a fire poker. But no. Let's take the candlestick. What are we, in Clue? Come on.
It's like she's running. It's windy. It's like all this shit. And I'm sitting here like, you know what? Yeah. This movie somehow made running through like a storm uninteresting.
Yeah, that's very
Don't
true.
ask me how. While in the guest house, the phone rings and it's the same caller. This only confirms her fear that he's watching her.
Yep. And then she's like, gotcha, bitch. I got you for 60 seconds. And then she takes the look at both phones. She's like, you called from the other line. And I'm like...
Also, the entire time she's running, she has, like, the fucking phone, like, the hook on the back of her pants, like, the back pocket. I'm like, that shit's gonna fall
Yeah,
out.
she had way too much faith in that.
She keeps him on the phone so the call could be traced, but only to remember he called the wrong line. Jill looks out the window and sees Rosa's vehicle's lights come on.
Yep.
Not the vehicle. I thought it was her room.
Yeah, you're right. It is her room.
And then we get to her bedroom, and her bedroom's probably like 10 by 10 feet. It's not that big. 3 fucking lamps.
3 lamps. A
shitload of Jesus candles.
A lot of Jesus things.
Oh, I forgot to mention, at the beginning of the movie, where we get to the house, where the woman's like, at the fair, there's that whole Jesus saves neon light.
Yeah, why? What is
like,
this?
There's no religious undertones in this movie at fucking all.
I don't get it. I don't know.
I feel like the writer was like, I want this movie to be about Jesus. And the studio was like, bitch, no, it's about a home invasion. And he's like, I'm gonna do subliminal messaging. Jesus saves.
Oh my god.
Believing Rosa's home, Jill searches for her, but finds no one is there. The phone rings again, and the caller remains quiet on the other end. And Jill manages to keep him on the line for a minute so the call can be traced. She keeps him on the line for a long-ass fucking time.
She does. She does.
Jill then hears the shower running in the maid's room, but upon checking, the bathroom's empty. The police then call her, then tell her the calls are coming from inside the house. Horrified, Jill finds Tiffany's body in the bathroom floor and flees. Tiffany's body's going through so much rigor mortis for like being dead for like maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It feels like
It was pretty wild. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The most iconic line from this movie series, from the original, from this, as well as the call is coming from inside the house. That's pretty much it. And yeah.
You know, it's like this is the iconic line, and Black Christmas did it better.
Very true. Very true.
Black Christmas, the better When a Stranger Calls. Did I fuck up my notes? Yeah, I fucked up my notes. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to piece this together. Here we go. Ju goes to the children who are already hiding in their playroom. She looks up and sees the intruder in the loft.
Yeah. Okay. Question.
Ah, here we go. This is where Paige goes, Ryan, can I just go to the bathroom real quick before the movie starts getting really good? And I'm like, bitch, change the wording. Change the wording. This movie's not about to get really good.
Better, or something is about to happen. So, real quick, she comes into the kids' room, right? Opens the door, closes the door, and then she's looking around. The kids are not in the bed. Oh my god. She thinks they're dead inside of their play chest. She finds them. They're not dead, unfortunately. And she goes to go back to the door, and then their dresser is against the door. Right?
How the fuck did he get back up there?
Thank
That's what
you.
I was thinking.
That's what I was just about to say. How did he get up to the fucking roof in 2 minutes without a sound?
A part of me just wants to believe he has like a pulley system. He's just like
that would be funny.
I'm not gonna lie. When they said when I read the note and it was like, and he's in the loft, I was like the Grinch, like when the Grinch does his little thing, and somebody who's like, is it like that? And then no, it was way less interesting.
So he tries to get them. She blocks the door. The kids go through the little window. That's it.
And the only line this dude's like, he's like, come back.
Yeah.
Let me kill you. Also, his best line is, I want your blood on me. And I was like, ooh, that's kinky. that is kinky as shit. Also, so we've had to pause this movie a couple times at this point because we were playing a game of how much longer does this movie have. Every time we paused it, on the bottom right screen side, all you saw was up next, the X-Files pilot. And every time it came up, I was like, can we just watch that instead? I'll do an X-Files episode. I'll gladly watch an X-Files episode. It's the first episode. It's decent.
Oh, 100%. I love the pilot.
They all escape into the greenhouse and hide. Jill discovers Rose's dead body under the water. She is weighed down by a giant-ass rock.
She is.
The intruder enters and searches the greenhouse.
Oh, yeah. So she uses the misting system inside this greenhouse to, like, mask where they're going. Smart, I guess. The kids go off into a little bush or whatever. She goes under the walkway that's in the water. So she's in the water. The guy's walking on top of the walkway. And then he finds her. And he tries to grab her. And this is a really long sequence.
You know, when you were like, a whole bunch of this, watching this movie, was Paige being like, so, like, this happens, and none of that shit happens. She was like, oh, she's going to use the house? Like, she kind of gets smart with using the house. And I was like, okay, maybe this movie can be better than Vacancy. And then it wasn't.
I thought it did happen. I must have been thinking of another movie. Whatever. I did call her knocking him over into the water, though. I did say that. I said, oh, she tips over the walkway.
Yeah, you called the one thing that was, like, incredibly predictable.
I mean, you know. I haven't seen this since this movie came out.
I know, but you were like, you kind of had these moments where I had, like, you said something, I was like, okay, maybe for, like, 5 minutes I could be interested.
I was trying.
It never happened. It never once happened. She's like, oh, yeah, then eventually she goes to talk to the children, and I was like, okay, when are we talking to the children again? When do we run into the children? I need to know.
Oh, well.
Oh, Jill manages to lock him inside, but he breaks out and attacks her. Probably. all I can think about is like this movie's like smash cutting. It's like horror with the cat eating birds.
It's eerie and unsettling.
Oh my god! If I had to describe this movie, this entire movie was like, okay, now open the door very slowly. Now look very slowly. Now do this very slowly. It got to the point where I was like, I don't fucking care. Just do it. There's gonna be nothing there anyway.
You know why everything had to be done very slowly? Because they needed time. They needed to fill the dead air with more dead air.
I was really watching this like, this movie's not suspenseful. This movie's just pissing me off at this point. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Maybe he can attack her, because then the movie will get interesting. Are you going to kill her? Great. I don't care. I just need this to end.
And none of that happens. None of that happens until the last 20 to 15 minutes of this movie.
And even then, a good 7 of those minutes are her, like, in the water, just like...
Exactly.
I'm like, come on. Come the fuck on. The most interesting part was them climbing out of a window. And then she, like, trips on a branch and falls on her ass from, like, 6 feet in the air. And I was like, wow. Sidney Prescott could never. During the altercation, Jill manages to stab the assailant's hand into the hardwood floor with a fireplace poker before rushing out of the house and into the arms of a police officer. The assailant is arrested.
They skipped over, so she threw the tequila bottle into the fireplace because he's trying to choke her. She tries to hit him, doesn't work. Then she reaches for the fireplace remote, activates the fireplace. It kind of burns him. Then she stabs him with the fire poker.
It didn't burn him. He was just like, oh, fuck, I'm startled.
Yeah.
That was it. He was startled.
And then, yeah, she runs into the arms of the officer. God, are we done?
And the officer's like, it's okay. And also, do you know, like, when you see an officer and you're like, that's definitely an actor?
Oh,
officer.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. This was like, he could never pass as an actual officer.
And the best part was the next minute is just a slow-mo shot
of the guy's face. And they're trying to be really creepy because they're using post slow-mo. And you guys know how I feel about this. It's horrible. It never looks good. And it's just on his face it has to be over a minute. We should have timed it.
We should have done it. I was just like, you got to the point where you and I were just screaming, like, end the fucking shot. We get it. He's a man. Cool. He has a scar on his face. Scary.
Whoop-de-doo.
Move on.
Yeah.
Okay, and now we get to... I'll get into it in a second. Days later. While recovering in the hospital, Jill awakens to the foreign game.
I thought it was like a couple of hours.
I thought she was in there maybe for like, I thought it was like maybe like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Days?
She gets out of bed, and while looking at her reflection in the mirror, the assailant appears behind her and grabs her. She begins to shriek hysterically, waking from her hallucination as the doctors and her father desperately try to stop her frantic panicking. Talk about just a dumbass ending. Nothing in this movie shows she went off the deep end.
Absolutely. And I have a feeling it's because Final Destination was around this time, so they had those fake little, moments and scenarios like this, like a dream sequence. There was also there's another fucking movie that did this in this time frame. I can't think of it, but it was of the time.
You know what's funny is this ending was ripped off from like a movie that like a lot of people consider a ripoff. This became a thing with, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, where the big ending in da-da-da-da. Now, they don't show, Jennifer Love Hewitt waking up, but it's always been established it's kind of a dream sequence.
Right.
Which, that is a ripoff of Scream, and this movie's a ripoff of both.
Right. Exactly.
And she's like, he's in the house! And I'm just like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I want this movie to end. Shut up.
And then it did. And we're all happy, and it's over, and...
Also, that was a big-ass hospital.
It was.
Room.
It was very...
It had a hallway. The room had a hallway. Also, I was going to say, for, like, endings in a hospital, you're not going to beat The Final Girls.
Oh yeah, nothing will beat
The Final
that.
Girls had such a good twist ending in a hospital.
It was fantastic. Go watch that movie. You'll have so much more fun
Please.
than this one. I promise.
Okay. If you want a good hospital ending, you watch this. If you want a good use of slow-mo, you go watch You're Next. If you want to go watch, I don't know, a good home invasion, go watch You're Next.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Honestly.
If you want to go, I don't know, watch a movie about a dude in the house calling people, watch Black Christmas.
Pretty much.
There's a variety of what you can watch here. That is not this movie.
I mean, we've basically ripped this thing to shreds, but let's just get into this goddamn roundup by now.
All right.
All right. All right, everybody. Here's the roundup for When a Stranger Calls, the 2006 edition. It blows. It's always been shitty. I was excited to watch a shitty movie, but then, like, it was really shitty.
It was funny because we were both ripping it while it was happening.
That's true. Also, we recorded at, like, 8 a.m. or watched the movie at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. I think that also contributed to our shitty mood. If there was an interesting shot, which I saw like twice, I got bored of it. The acting was very gross and subpar. There was way too many static shots of the house. Like, that's basically what this movie was. They were trying to show off this house. I want to know how much they rented this house for, because I feel like that's what they were trying to show off.
I forgot to look at the budget.
It's okay. We don't need to know.
If I looked at the budget, I could probably see it.
We don't need to know.
The best way I can describe this movie is a line that Paige said while we were watching the movie. We were watching the movie, and she goes, "Is this worse than Friday Part 4?" And then I started thinking, I was like, "But we watched Friday Part 4 alone. What would have happened if we watched Friday Part 4 together? Could we have withstood it? Because we withstood this shit."
That's very true. That's very true. We need to keep each other sane. So I think that's the only way we got through this frickin' movie. It's a 0. It's a 0 for me.
It's worse than Friday.
Okay.
I think you gave Friday like a 2 or a 1.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna call this worse than everything we've watched this season.
I won't.
Okay.
I'll call it on par. Oh, on this season?
Yeah.
Season 1.5?
Season 1.5.
Oh yeah, easily.
Okay. Oh my god.
What are you talking about?
Oh my god. Okay.
I'll give this movie a 0.5. It's on par with Friday Part 4.
Fair.
Because I said I can't give a 0 to shit.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll give it a 0.5. This movie, I had just had a drink that... Oh, by the way, Paige had a whole ass cup of coffee.
It was enormous.
And this movie counteracted the coffee.
I had a lot of coffee because I was like, we're at 8 a.m. on a Saturday after our long-ass work week. I need this, and it didn't work.
You come back after break, and you're like, the only thing this coffee did was make me shit. Oh, we found the anti-coffee. It's called When a Stranger Calls.
Enjoy it. It will put you right to sleep, I promise. Fuck.
You know what? This movie gets a 0.8 because of the fashion was funny.
Okay. You know what? Fair. I like that. As long as you don't give it a 1, I'm happy.
Okay.
All right.
That's for When a Stranger Calls. Do you just want to talk about... This is the final. Also, I can't believe this was something that we decided in the middle of an episode to do. We could have done another movie.
What a mistake.
Do you want to talk about, let's talk about the season and how I was, there was a moment where I was like, man, I don't think we can really do a full season of Home Invasion. It's just going to be too much. We are now done. It's 5 weeks. Oh, sorry, 5 episodes is what we did for this. And part of me was just like, fuck, we should just end it with, like, You're Next, it feels like.
Yeah, we probably should have. I mean, this was more of like a, haha, this movie sucks, let's just put it in here. And it is, honestly, even though it is a shitty movie, it is a classic home invasion. I'm gonna be honest.
The '06 one or the original one?
Both. So, I mean, putting it in with the season, even if it is shitty, kind of felt like we kind of had to.
Do you think we will ever come back to Home Invasion as like a seasonal thing?
Probably not. Because like we've said with the other movies, it's extremely formulaic. So like, it's all of the same shit, just chewed and spit out in a different way. I mean, that's almost a lot of horror movies, but Home Invasion specifically for me. Yeah.
I will say this is probably the easiest season to rank.
Oh yeah.
In terms
Yeah.
of like,
So
this is easy as hell to rank.
so do you want to
Number
do?
one, we should both agree on. Funny enough, I think we have the same ranking.
Okay, you're next.
Your next is number one.
All right,
Yeah,
your next is
100%.
number one. For me, it's The Strangers is next.
Okay, for me, we'll probably have 2 and 3 reversed. So number 2 for me is People Under the Stairs.
Okay, yeah, you're right. My third was gonna be People Under the Stairs.
My third was going to be The Strangers.
Okay, that's fine. Vacancy. And then
When a Stranger Calls.
this pile of garbage.
This is the most consistent we were ever going to be.
Yeah, pretty much. It's,
Especially because your next was above the rest. Like it sits above
I
the
think
rest.
what contributes to this ranking is how much fun did I have with a very stressful situation, right? I mean, that's kind of what you're looking for in a horror movie, which is it's a very weird, duality. You have a fucking blast, right? But you're still scared, or at least you have suspense. With The Strangers, for me, I was pretty fucking scared when I first saw it, and now I was still like really tense. It wasn't fun; it was just tense, which is kind of like an adrenaline rush. With your next, it was a fucking blast. It was great. It was a good time, And the other ones were People Under the Stairs was so different, so out there, but still suspenseful and kind of a good time ish. It's kind of murky with its grossness.
It has highs and lows.
Exactly. Vacancy is just better than this, and that's it. That's all I can say.
Vacancy, the best way I can put Vacancy is like, I remember we watched the movie, and I was tired after watching the movie.
Yeah.
I was really tired.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I had something that woke me up right before we watched the movie, so I was able to get through this relatively easily.
Mm-hmm.
But the other 3, I was able to get through relatively well, especially your next. The last 3 movies, I've been able to get through, like, very well. However, I kind of agree with you on everything. I think the only reason why is, so The Strangers and People Under the Stairs. This is 100% our
Taste.
personalities
Yeah.
showing. Because I love the weird shit. Like the shit that people go, what the fuck is this? That's usually where you see me kind of having my fun. That's People Under the Stairs. You like the more, I'll call them art pieces in a sense.
Okay, that's fair.
The more artistic in a sense. That's where you lie. So the fact that, those 2 movies are swapped for us is the perfect thing of what our taste is. And then you have a movie about a bad bitch, and that bad bitch trumps all.
Always. If there's a movie about a bad bitch, it's our number one. You know.
Oh, it's always going to be our number one.
Absolutely.
All right. I think. How about this?
Yeah.
Paige is currently dying in her room of heat stroke. We're going to take a quick cut. I'm going to cut really quickly. And then we're going to come back and we're going to tell them what's going to happen before season 2.
Yeah, let's do that, please. Thank God.
Let's do that.
All right, everybody. So this concludes our season 1.5 of Home Invasions. There's not going to be a haunt for this one because it would be us telling you your haunt is you're in a room with a phone that doesn't stop ringing for 5 minutes. Yes, that's scary to some. I agree. But I think it's
Causes an
unnecessary.
aneurysm to others.
Yeah. So in between 1.5 and season 2 of Movie and a Haunt, we're going to be doing a couple of movies. They're there's not really a theme. They're just movies that we really like, and we don't think we'd be able to put them anywhere in a season. So what are they? What are we doing?
I'm just gonna let you know we do have a seasonal name for this. This is season 1.75. Behind the scenes, this is what Paige and I have called the shit show, because there is no theme. It's just a shit show.
Pretty much.
So season 2. I'll first say what season 2 starts. When it starts. It starts with on November 20th. We're gonna be doing Thanksgiving.
So
Season 2 is a 1-year season of monsters. I am excited.
Yes, this is RJ's bread and butter. So we're going from mine, which is slashers, to RJ's monsters.
Monsters are interesting. That's the thing, is the stories can be a little bit more like, and also there's a lot more leniency with what can be considered a monster movie than a slasher movie.
Very true.
But before then, we have 5 movies. Up next is Silent Hill, 2006 Silent Hill. I love it because fun fact, I love Silent Hill. Like the series, not just the movie, but like the series. You've never seen it.
I've seen this movie in bits and pieces. I've never sat through it from start to finish.
After that is Paige's birthday movie.
Yes.
It's Happy Death Day.
It's fitting, right? It's a slasher. It's about her birthday. It's fun. It's a good time.
I've never seen it. So like,
oh, fantastic. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I like it.
After that, so in your head, what comes after that?
Scooby-Doo?
No.
Great. What is it?
She's blanked, and it makes me excited because now she gets to react again. Our first movie of October is Pumpkinhead.
Yes. Okay, I recently seen Pumpkinhead for the first time. I think it was probably last year or something like that. Yeah, because I got the Steelbook because it was gorgeous. It's weird. It's a weird movie. It's something where I was like, you know what? This is great for my October horror movie watch because it's seasonal. So I'm excited. That will be fun.
After that is our 1-year anniversary, which is going to be kind of a split between, celebrating 1 year and doing Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, since that's our favorite Scooby-Doo movie.
Yes. And it's a fun time.
We don't do the one that's overrated, which is, Zombie Island.
I love Zombie Island. Don't shit on Zombie Island.
Instead, we're going to do the one that's only mildly overrated. And then the final one, I'm trying to find a GIF. Okay, there we go. It's the GIF of the movie. It's a surprise from me to Paige.
Oh, great. Yeah, because I don't know this one.
Here's the thing. Once Thanksgiving starts, we go into a shit show until Krampus on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but you're finally going to see the movie that this comes from. I will watch it react.
What is it?
Its name is Troll 2. Troll. No S. Just L.
Do I have had to have seen the first one to understand the second movie?
I'll give you a fun fact. This movie was supposed to be named Goblin, but they just named it Troll 2 because there was another movie called Troll coming out already. So they just wanted to have something that was like kind of had a name recognition. So it has nothing to actually deal with the first movie. They're two totally separate movies.
Okay, this is gonna be interesting. And this kicks off our monster season almost, basically, right?
Yes, it does. And then, to make people very happy, we're doing some of Paige's like worst fears. We're doing like Gremlins at some point. She hates me. We're doing 2 months of Hellraiser. She really hates me.
Yep. Yep, I have a very bad phobia of needles, so it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a great time.
Oh, I just thought you were upset that we have to do a franchise again.
I mean that too. But Needles kind of trumps that.
And then eventually I'm gonna slide in another Friday just to piss her off.
He just wants me to quit. This is basically what his long con is. He just wants me to quit.
The long con is by 2025 we will have seen all of Friday.
Fantastic.
In some capacity.
Cannot wait. So yeah, that's our schedule for our in-between season, which is called unofficially The Shit Show. Please join us. Thank you for joining us for this movie and ending our season 1.5 together. You can find us on YouTube if you're there now. Hi. You can find us on Spotify. Moving on.
How you doing?
If you're there now, hi. So please like, subscribe, comment, rate. I don't know. I'm just naming things that I think you're supposed to do on these social media sites.
Also,
yeah.
You probably don't know this because I'm the person who's been putting out the episodes for the last few weeks. In order to catch up on YouTube, Season of Slashers has been a weekly release. We're going back to bi-weekly because now we're officially caught up with When a Stranger Calls. So we're back to bi-weekly on YouTube now. Just as
wonderful. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Please join us for our intermission to season 2, and we hope you had a great time and continue to have a great time with us.
See you in Silent Hill.
Yeah, see you until next time. Bye.
Bye.